Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program with Reiny. How is everyone? We are playing the career mode and I think there's really only one more planet I need to get to, at least from my own personal playthrough. I'm not quite sure if I've shown you guys everything yet, but I've now got to go to Eeloo, and so here is the rocket that I hope will take me to Eeloo. If I just take you through on the left hand side the stuff that I've got available. So I have got some huge Kerbalkind tanks, these massive, what are they called? S3 14,400. And I've also got a huge KR2L plus Rhino liquid fuel engine, but I found that I haven't actually had to use those. So I've built this rocket entirely from earlier technology. And at the top here, just underneath the fairing, I've got this little micro sort of satellite that I intend to deploy around Eeloo. It's got all the little gubbins on it, temperature, thermometer, gravioli detector, press map barometer. It's got plenty of batteries, so it should easily be able to beam back all the data. So where's my little antenna on it? Can't forget the antenna, can I? Is it even on there? If I haven't put one on there, then I'm a complete noob. We'll have to do that. Yeah, so I think it's good. It's got a delta V of 15,200, so I thought, why not? Let's take it for a spin. Before we do that, however, I'm going to add the antenna, and then I'll see you on the launch pad. Okay, so here we are on the launch pad. We are go for liftoff to Eeloo. If you don't know what Eeloo is the furthest out planet in the solar system. I will show you exactly how far away it is. There it is in its orbit right there. So we're going to set that as our target. That is quite frankly an astronomical distance away. Oh, Reiny, you silly fool. Alright, I'm going to unset my target for now until I'm up in space. But yeah, that's really far away. That's why you need so much delta V. Now, if anyone's got any tips on how to design a rocket to get to Eeloo, I would be more than willing to accept them, because I'm having some trouble trying to get the rocket aerodynamic enough and actually maneuverable enough with enough delta V to actually take me there. Now, as promised, I just wanted to show you a part of how this thing actually flies. So I'm going to keep an eye on the right hand side here and show you some of the things that I do, and you can correct me if I'm wrong or not. So my thrust to weight ratio, you can see here, as indicated by my Kerbal Engineer Redux program, shows me that I'm at about 1.5 now. Now what I like to do is keep that around 1.4, 1.5, at least while I'm using the solid fuel boosters, and in that way I conserve as much liquid fuel as I can for my other boosters. Once the solid boosters have gone, then I jettison them and put my thrusters to maximum. Now that might be wrong, I don't know exactly. It's worked for me, I can get to everywhere in the universe, but I may be doing some things wrong, so I would love it if some of you people could correct me. There we go, we've jettisoned them now. Now at about 12,000 meters, I'm going to start tilting to the right. I'll start doing it slightly now. Now you can see this it's not brilliant. Like if I tilt it right, it tries to tilt back to the left a little bit, if you look at my nav ball, which is slightly annoying. I'm not 100% sure why it does that, and I don't know how to correct it. Maybe I could use RCS, but obviously that would add to the weight of the rocket, so I'm really not quite sure. There's so many of you out there who are experts, and I'm sure some of you have got the answer. Especially subscriber Omar Garcia. You are a legend, my man. You taught me this gravity term, which I'd never ever used. I guess I did do it, but like I never really did it in quite as an efficient manner as you kind of taught me to do it. So yeah, thanks for that, dude. So here we are, we're going to be reaching an apoapsis height of 44,000 meters. Now just to allay your concerns, I'm not going to be showing you the entire mission to Eeloo. I literally wanted to show you how this rocket launches, how it handles up to low curb in orbit, and see if you guys have got any suggestions to fix it. The next time you're going to see me will be when I'm approaching Eeloo, and we'll be ready to do loads of science around it. Yes, so I guess we'll just need to finish up our burn here to try and get to low curb in orbit. We're at 66,000 meters so far. We've got a good velocity, and we're getting to 1150 meters per second, and we've reached an apoapsis of 74,000 meters. Now what happens here is my rocket starts to slow down. So let me show you what I do next. I don't know if this is right either. There may be much more efficient ways of doing it. So I'll zoom in here at my apoapsis, create a maneuver node. Create a maneuver, there we go. So basically I want to try and accelerate fast enough to get out of the influence of Kerbin and get out into the wide world around the sun. Now you can see here I'm really struggling to fire my engines, so what I do here is basically fire my engine and use that to move me to the maneuver node. Obviously I know I could use RCS, but I'm not sure whether I really need it or if this is good enough, because you judging by the estimated burn and the node in tea time, this looks like a fine way of doing it. I'd love your thoughts, as I said. Anyway, that's it from me. I'm going to accelerate off into the solar system, and you'll see me in about 2 seconds time where I will be approaching Eeloo. Okay everybody, we're nearly at Eeloo. Look at my tiny little rocket. This is what we have left. Now, Omar has mentioned in a previous comment about fairings, which I have here. I guess we don't really need this fairing anymore, so all I got to do is right click this and click deploy. There we go. There is our tiny little payload satellite thing that we're going to be putting into orbit around Eeloo. I may even try and land. I don't know if you can land. We'll explore Eeloo when we get there. But let me just extend my solar panels, keep our electricity running. We're quite low on electricity, which is a good choice of mine to deploy them now. Anyway, let me show you how far away we are from the sun. So I think this is probably a good way to approach Eeloo. Obviously, I think the optimum would be if Eeloo was right up here at the peak, the apoapsis of the sun. But we've got not a bad approach. And you can see we're now about 45 days away. And our periapsis above Eeloo will be approximately 27 million meters. Now we can change this if we want to do a little maneuver here. Let's go back and focus on our rocket. Now if I click, let's just say here, and click add maneuver, and then go back to Eeloo, double click on that, I can now alter the periapsis that will be approaching, that we will have above Eeloo. So if I just mess around with the controls, if I choose retrograde, let's see if that takes us any closer. It gets us too far away, in fact. So let's just zoom out and fix that. Alright, we need to speed up a bit. So I guess maybe we can use... You can mess around with these little nodes here, the purple ones and the blue ones. You don't have to, but you can use them to get you closer and closer. So here we would have a periapsis of 19 million meters, which is a bit better. And if we go too far, we lose contact with Eeloo altogether. So we can get within 17 million. But I'm not going to bother doing that. I'm happy that we've just managed to get here. My Kerbal is the first one ever to get... Well, it's not actually a Kerbal, but this rocket is the first one on this career mode to get anywhere near Eeloo. And let's just slow the game down a little bit. Just as we approach, we don't want to miss our periapsis above Eeloo. Here we go. We've made contact. Now this is quite cool because this opens up some experiments that we can do. We can now do a temperature scan, atmospheric pressure scan, and gravity scan above Eeloo. Now I've still got 6,500 meters per second delta V, which may be too much, it may be too little, I'm not exactly sure. But what I am going to do is get some of these experiments done. So let's log the gravity data. If we keep the data, or if we send it, we're going to get 80, which is quite a lot. I've actually got a tip that I'll show you for getting loads of science, but I love visiting new planets. We've got 605 electric charge, so I'm going to beam back some of this. Let's review and beam back our gravity data. Look at my cute little rocket. It's not a bad design, really, eh? And you can see our little communotron that we added is now beaming back in small packets, so it takes quite a while. But if you go too quickly, then you may not have enough electrical charge to send all this data, hence why I've got all these batteries on here. Like I said, I'm by no means an expert. So now we have... What have we done? Failed a contract or completed a contract? Ooh, achieve orbit around Eeloo. Here we go. Transmit or recover scientific data from space around Eeloo. So they actually want us to land on it as well. I haven't put any landing legs on this craft because I had no idea if I had enough delta V to get there. But it looks like we have. I wonder if I can review and send back this data here on temperature. Yeah, that doesn't use too much. Lovely. Alright, so the other data I'm going to keep for a little while, at least until our electricity's recharged. Now we need to do a burn in order to get a circular orbit around Eeloo. So here we go. That will get us circularized. Where is Eeloo? Look at that tiny little blob right there. That'll get us to within 376,000 meters. I'm going to go ahead and do that burn. That requires 1,374 delta V. That's fine by me. Let's just speed up. Oh, I've overshot it. Never mind. We'll be fine. Just rushing a little bit for the recording. But either way, we're easily going to be able to slow down our craft enough to get in contact and get an orbit around Eeloo. Now, can we see Eeloo from here? I wonder. I don't even know quite where to look. Can anyone spot it? I can't see it. I can see a galaxy. I can see all sorts, but I cannot see Eeloo. We're probably way too far out. It is tiny, but there it is. And it looks quite sweet. Look at it. When we get a bit closer, I'll investigate and see what the information says about it. I'm just happy to have got this far, really. There we go. Jettison that part and fire the next part of our rocket. I'm just going to speed up the engine now. Get us even closer. And by the time this video comes out, 1.1 will be out. And I may start a new career mode and try and improve how long it's taken me to do all these missions. There we go. Let's just slow down time. And there we go. We're going to get an orbit of some sort around Eeloo. It's not perfect, but it is an orbit. I'm going to get a bit closer. There we go. That'll do nicely. Now, how much electricity have we got now? 604 out of 605. Brilliant. I think what I'll do before I go any further is review our pressure data and send that back. And now we can do an atmospheric pressure scan while in space high over Eeloo. So, we can do another pressure scan here. No? Gravity scan. Okay. Whatever. There we go. Another 80 science. And if we processed it, we'd get loads of data, but whatever. Alright, now they want us to land on Eeloo. I think what I'll do is create a maneuver around it and get a bit closer. We'll get an orbit of some kind a lot closer to it. And what the hell is going on here? This is jiggery pokery all over the place. There we go, that's better. It's kind of sorted it. How bizarre. It's going all over the screen. Why is that? Anybody know? So, in 25 days approximately, we will be ready to do our burn. And we're easily able to get an orbit around this thing. Ah, I've overshot it. Never mind. Oh, God. My rocket has no control. What the hell's going on here? There we go. Just need to follow it manually. Kind of messed up a bit there. Never mind. Where's my rocket gone? Oh, there it is. What the hell? Oh, it zoomed us all the way around. That's why. Dumbo. I guess we'll try that again. Alright. Well, I'm going to sort out my orbit off camera, and I will rejoin you in a minute when we get a little bit closer. But before I do that, let's find out some information about Eeloo. So, its equatorial radius, 210 kilometers. That's tiny! It's a tiny little planet. Sphere of influence at 119,000 kilometers. ASL gravity 0.172. I may be able to land on this without landing legs. That's kind of exciting. Alright, now I'm going to sort out this orbit and rejoin you in a second. Hey, so now I've circularized my orbit. I'm quite low to Eeloo, about 100,000 meters out at my apoapsis, 97,000-ish at my periapsis. And let's take a look if there's any science we can do. Let's get X science up. No, we've done all the science we can high over Eeloo, so we now need to try and get lower. So if I want to get lower, I guess I burn at the apoapsis, perhaps, and burn retrograde. No, that's not good, you see, because I'm going to land on the dark side. I don't want to be approaching the dark side. I do intend to land this rocket now. I've thought about it, and the gravity is so low here that I can think about doing that. Now, if I get to within 21,000 meters, that should be enough to count as being low in the atmosphere. So let's fast forward. You can see I've still got nearly 5,000 meters per second delta V left as well. So it's possible that I could land on here and then, you know, take off, get back in orbit, and possibly get into the sphere of influence of the sun again, which is quite frankly awesome. Since I made this video, I have actually built a far superior rocket that I need to show everyone at some point. But that's going to have to wait. Alright, so now at our periapsis we're going to be low over Eeloo. Here we go. So we're low enough now to be classified as in space near Eeloo. So let's look at our rocket. Get it into the daylight. Or the sunlight. Here we go. And we can now do a temperature scan. So we'll log the temperature. I'll probably beam that straight back. 602 electric charge. Yep, that's beamed back nicely. Alright, atmospheric pressure. I imagine it's going to be pretty much the same as anywhere else in space, seeing as it's a vacuum still. What's going on here? Log pressure data. Send it back, Captain. There we go, and that sends back in some nice big chunks. The only one that I'm not sure about sending is the gravity data, so I'm actually going to keep that. Now, if I stay on this trajectory, or this altitude, then I think more scientific experiments can be done. So let me just lower my apoapsis here. How low is that? 48,000, 37, 18,000. That's quite nice. Alright, if I just check on the sphere of influence again, what is that? The sphere of influence is at 119,000 kilometers. Okay, so if we fast forward a little bit, we can then do this burn to get closer. Now, what this will do is, like I said, open up more scientific experiments closer to Eeloo. As we go around it, we'll pass over different geological features. So, hopefully, that should give us some different science data to get. Let's see. Fast forward. And you can see us passing around here. We can't go any faster below 30,000 meters. I'm definitely going to try and land this. It's going to be awesome. Temperature scan while in space near Eeloo. Yeah, it's not opening up any more experiments. I guess either I'm not close enough or whatever. You can see one of my satellites in the background there. My Gilly Minder. Nice. Alright, I think what I'm going to do then is start to think about a landing. Do you know what? We're so low already. We might as well carry on going around. Just burn retrograde. And then that'll gradually take us down to the surface. 500. We're orbiting at 568 meters per second. And we have 539 meters per second left on this stage. So let's move over the planet and take a look what's going on. Here we go. So we're burning this way. Let's see. It's going to be quite difficult because I haven't got any landing legs, as I mentioned earlier, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. Look at these brown areas. I wonder what they are. Old copper mines. This place used to be manned. I don't know if I'm going to be able to land live while recording. We'll have to wait and see on this one. Alright, where are we going to land? Here we go. That's looking quite good. So, we're still 20,000 meters up. I'm going to finish up the burn on this stage, so we're now on our final stage. Oh god, we kicked away a bit hard there. Here we go, look at my little tiny satellite. That's awesome. Now there is even better satellites that I've managed to build, as I said, since this video. Kind of in parallel, but it's going to be released later, where I use xenon gas, which is quite frankly remarkable stuff in terms of lengthening your delta V, or increasing your delta V, should I say. Now, some people I've seen on the Reddit forums are asking, what is delta V? Delta V is just simply, delta means change in. You'll come across it in A-level physics, probably in maths as well. Definitely in maths, but whether it's at GCSE or A-level, I don't know. And V stands for velocity, so it's simply the change in velocity. So you need to know how much you can change the velocity of your rocket rather than how much fuel it's got, because you might have tons and tons of fuel, but a rocket that's not capable of carrying you anywhere. So yeah, that's basically what that is. Now I am 1,100 meters above the surface, you can see here, and we're coming in gracefully to land. I think we'll be able to land this very nicely. Let's just increase our thrust ever so slightly, speed up the game engine so we get a bit closer. 300 meters. We're coming in too fast, Captain. Speed up. 100 meters. Yeah, we've easily got control. Nice. 80 meters. We're ticking down nicely. Are we going to land? This is the furthest anyone's been on my Kerbal Space Program career mode. Even though it's not anyone, it's just a robot. But still, it goes down in Kerbal history. REinstein's Kerbal history. Here we go. Look at that nice and slow descent. 2.3 meters per second. And we have landed. Ta-da! And that opens up a whole nother bunch of science data. So if I take a look at my contracts, let's get rid of that one. Up here, we just need to transmit or recover scientific data from around Eeloo, or from the surface of Eeloo, and then we will have completed that contract. Now I'm just going to fast forward and let my batteries recharge, and then I'm going to beam back all this data. But Eeloo looks kind of cool, don't you think? It would be awesome if I could get a rover here or something, but that may have to wait for another video. Well, thanks for watching. That is my mission to Eeloo. Hopefully it's been informative and you've enjoyed it. Take care, please leave a like, and if anyone wants to support me on Patreon, please do so at patreon.com/RedneckEinstein from as little as $1 a month. Any contribution helps keep this channel alive. Thanks guys, take care, bye bye.